like, subscribe, and leave a comment. WrestleMania Backlash that's taken place in Puerto Rico. I think that, well, my pronunciation is, I need to work on that. It was a good event, so I'm just going to run through the results for those who didn't watch it. So it started off with Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. This was a very good match. You should go and watch it. I haven't seen it. It was surprising that Bianca Belair was getting booed throughout the whole thing, and Io Sky was actually getting cheered. This is what I said. I've been saying this for a little while now. I said Bianca Belair is a John Cena of WWE. Well, in the women's division, I keep saying it, and now we're seeing it. But it was a really good match, a really close match as well. If Bianca wins this, she will be the longest reigning women's champion in the modern era. And I will say that Io Sky is a star. She's a new star for sure. She had a crowd on her side. It was an awesome match. And still, Bianca wins. She's now one of the longest reigning, I think the longest reigning women's champion in the modern era. So congratulations to Bianca Belair. Then we went to a backstage segment with Bad Bunny getting ready for his match. Rey Mysterio stopped by, and so did Savio Vega, a Hall of Famer. Then we had Seth versus Omos. Obviously, big guys, it's not big guys' fault, but big guys don't really have the barn burner matches. You look at things like Big Show, people like Great Khali. You can't have barn burner matches with a big guy, but actually this was actually a really good match. Seth brung Omos to a really good match here. Obviously Omos dominated the majority, but Seth rallied back and hit Omos with 2 stomps that he actually kicked out of. I've never seen no one kicked out of a stomp, but especially 2 stomps. Except the Fiend, I think it was. But then he hit Omos with a super stomp off the top rope, and that got the victory for Seth Rollins while the crowd was singing his song. Go. Then we had a triple threat match, Lashley versus Reed versus Austin Theory for the US title in a really good match. It's what you'd expect, really. Hard hitting, big guys being thrown about, smash mouth. It came down to Lashley hitting a spear on Reed for the victory, but obviously Austin Theory managed to get a pin instead of Lashley. Then we had Rhea versus Zelina, obviously for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Obviously Zelina is going to be the crowd favourite because she's Puerto Rican. Really good match. Go and watch it, but it was near enough dominated by Rhea, and still Rhea wins. Then we had Bad Bunny versus Priest in a street fight. Everything was there. It was kendos, tables, chairs, TLC, everything was there. All the interference that you want. We had Carlito made his return. We had Savio Vega. We had LWR. We had Rey Mysterio. We had Judgment Day. Everything was there. There was even a high spot where Bunny went through a table via a powerbomb, which was nasty. But in the end, Bad Bunny won it by a Bunny Destroyer, so really good match there. Then we had the Bloodline versus Riddle, Sammy and KO in a really good match. Go and watch it. Obviously, all 6 of these opponents can go. There was some dissension in the ranks because at one point Solo was going to spike Jay. So let's see what happens on SmackDown. Things are heating up there for sure. But in the end, Solo got the win. So we'll see what happens on SmackDown, see what Roman Reigns has to say. That's not over, that's just starting. Then in the main event of the evening, it was Cody versus Brock. Really good match here. Obviously, Suplex City was open for business, dominated by Brock mostly. Cody had some rallies back, had some really good moments. Cody hit a Cody cutter and a disaster kick multiple times, but Brock obviously ran through Cody, hit him with an F5. He actually kicked out of the F5, so crazy. Cody hit with some crossroads and he kicked out as well. Brock kicked out, which was crazy. But in the end, Brock goes for a Kimura and Cody gets the pin off a Kimura. Wow. But yeah, so that's your review of WrestleMania Backlash. It was a good show. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. Like, subscribe and leave a comment.